Hello, please take the time to leave a meaningful comment. Click on the like button, the notify bell and subscribe buttons. Thank you. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Short story 158, The New Plant. Scene 1, The Office. It was a typical Tuesday morning in the office. Sarah, the young woman with bright red hair, sat at her desk typing away on her computer. Papers were piled high on her desk, threatening to topple over. She sighed and took a sip of her cold coffee. "Morning, Sarah." Sarah looked up to see her co-worker, David, a tall man with a friendly smile. "Morning, David," Sarah replied. "Another busy day." "You could say that," David chuckled, "but hey, at least it's not boring." Suddenly the office door swung open and their boss, Mr. Jones, a strict man with a bald head, walked in. He held a small green plant in his hand. "Everyone, gather round," Mr. Jones announced. Sarah and David exchanged curious glances before getting up from their desks and joining the other employees in a small circle around Mr. Jones. "This," Mr. Jones continued, holding up the plant, "is our newest team member." The employees looked at each other in confusion. "A plant?" someone whispered. Mr. Jones chuckled. "Yes, a plant. Studies show that having plants in the office can improve air quality and reduce stress, so I thought it would be a good addition to our team." He scanned the room with his eyes. "Sarah, since your desk gets the most sunlight, why don't you take care of it?" Sarah's eyes widened. "Me? But I don't know anything about plants." "Don't worry, Sarah," Mr. Jones said reassuringly. "It's a very easy plant to care for. Just water it once a week and it should be happy." He placed the plant on Sarah's desk and walked away. Sarah stared at the talking plant with a mixture of worry and amusement. Scene 2, Taking Care of Business. The rest of the day was a blur for Sarah. Between answering emails, processing paperwork and taking phone calls, she managed to almost forget about the plant. But then, as she was leaving the office for the evening, she remembered Mr. Jones's instructions. "Oh no," Sarah thought, "I haven't watered the plant yet." She quickly grabbed a watering can and filled it with water from the sink. Then she carefully poured some water onto the soil of the plant. "There you go, little guy," she said softly. "Hope you're happy in your new home." Scene 3, A Change in the Air. The next few weeks passed by quickly. Sarah continued to water the plant once a week, and to her surprise, it seemed to be thriving. It grew a few new leaves and it looked bright and healthy. Sarah also noticed something else. The office seemed to feel a bit different. The air felt cleaner and fresher, and the atmosphere seemed less stressful. Maybe Mr. Jones was right about the benefit of plants. One day David came over to Sarah's desk. "Hey, Sarah," he said, "isn't the air in here feeling a bit nicer lately?" Sarah smiled. "Now that you mention it, it does. Maybe it's the plant." David looked at the plant with newfound appreciation. "You know what? You're doing a great job taking care of it." Scene 4, A New Friend. From that day on, the little plant became a bit of a mascot for the office. Everyone looked forward to seeing its new leaves and took turns giving it a friendly pat on the head. Or rather, pot. Sarah, who had initially been hesitant about taking care of the plant, found herself enjoying it. She even started researching different types of plants and learning more about how to care for them. One afternoon, Sarah was watering the plant when a new employee, a young woman named Emily, came over to her desk. "Hi," Emily said shyly. "That's a lovely plant." Sarah smiled. "Thanks. It's called a snake plant. They're very easy to care for." Emily sat down next to Sarah. "Do you mind if I ask you some questions about it? I've always wanted to get a plant for my apartment, but I'm not sure where to start." Sarah was happy to help. The two of them spent the next half hour discussing different types of plants and their care needs. By the end of the conversation, Emily had decided to get a small succulent plant for her apartment. As Emily walked away, Sarah felt a warm feeling inside. The little plant had not only brought a bit of life to the office, but it had also helped her make a new friend. Emily, the shy new employee, had become a regular visitor to Sarah's desk, seeking advice not just on plants, but also on navigating the office and the city as a newcomer. Their shared interest in plants had blossomed into a genuine friendship, proving that sometimes the most unexpected connections can grow in the most unexpected places. Scene 5. Branching out. News of Sarah plant expertise spread through the office. Soon colleagues were stopping by her desk not just to chat about the plant, but also to ask for advice on their own green thumbs, or lack thereof. Sarah found herself becoming an unofficial office plant consultant. She helped people identify their existing plants, diagnose problems, and choose the right plants for their desk based on the amount of sunlight they received. The office transformed. Desks that were once bare now sported a variety of potted plants, from vibrant ferns and cascading spider plants to elegant peace lilies and cheerful cacti. The air quality continued to improve and the atmosphere remained noticeably calmer. Scene 6. More than just a plant. One Friday afternoon, Mr. Jones gathered the entire team for an announcement. "As you all know," he began, "we've seen a lot of positive changes in the office since we brought in our first plant." He looked around the room at the many thriving plants. The air quality has improved, stress levels seem to be down, and there's a more positive atmosphere overall. He smiled at Sarah, and a big part of that is thanks to Sarah, who has become our resident plant expert. Sarah blushed. "Oh, it was nothing, Mr. Jones. I just enjoy helping people." Mr. Jones continued, "I'm so impressed with the positive changes that I've decided to allocate a small budget for more plants for the office. Sarah, I'd like you to help us choose them and find the right spots for them." Sarah's eyes lit up. "Really? That would be amazing." Scene 7. Growing together. The following week, Sarah, along with a few enthusiastic colleagues, spent an afternoon at a local plant nursery. They returned to the office with a variety of new plants, transforming the once sterile place into a vibrant green oasis. The addition of the plants not only improved the office environment, but it also fostered a sense of teamwork and community. People started taking turns watering the plants, sharing their plant care knowledge, and even organizing plant-parent social gatherings after work. The little snake plant that had started it all continued to thrive on Sarah's desk. It became a symbol of the positive changes that had taken root in the office, a reminder that sometimes even the smallest things can have a big impact. The office wasn't just a place to work anymore, it was a place where people felt happy, healthy and connected, all thanks to the power of a little green plant. Vocabulary notes. Scene 1. Blur. Noun. A situation where everything seems to happen very quickly and you cannot remember the details clearly. Amusement. Noun. A feeling of enjoyment or pleasure. Strict. Adjective. Requiring people to obey rules or standards very carefully. Assure. Verb. To tell someone something in order to make them feel confident or less worried. Thriving. Adjective. Growing or developing well. Scene 2. Blur. Noun. A situation where everything seems to happen very quickly and you cannot remember the details clearly. Hesitant. Adjective. Feeling uncertain or unwilling to do something. Scene 3. Mascot. Noun. A person, animal or object that is a symbol of a team, group or organization. Appreciation. Noun. A feeling of recognizing the good qualities of something. Research. Verb. to find information about something by studying it. Scene 4. Expertise. Noun. Special skill or knowledge in a particular area. Consultant. Noun. Someone who gives professional advice to businesses or other organizations. Diagnose. Verb. To identify the cause of an illness or problem. Succulent. Noun. A plant with thick, fleshy leaves that can store water. Scene 5. Expertise. Noun. Special skill or knowledge in a particular area. Transform. Verb. To change something completely. Thriving. Adjective. Growing or developing well. Vibrant. Adjective. Full of life and colour. Scene 6. Allocate. Verb. To give a specific amount of money, time or resources to something. Resident. Adjective. Living in a particular place. Enthusiastic. Adjective. Showing strong interest and excitement. Scene 7. Oasis. Noun. A pleasant and peaceful area in a harsh or difficult environment. Foster. Verb. To encourage the development of something. Community. Noun. A group of people living in the same area or sharing a common interest. Thrive. Verb. To grow or develop well. Unexpected. Adjective. Not planned or expected. Story written by Google Bard AI. Image created by Desgo.com AI. If you want to read all the stories in full, please go to www.steveuk.blog. Thank you. Hello, this is Steve. If you enjoyed the story, please would you take the time to leave a meaningful comment and click on the like icon. If you want to know when the next story has been uploaded, please click on the notify bell icon to be notified. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and tell your English learning friends so they can benefit too. Thank you.